Okay, this is a quick recording about how to play with your images in Photoshop Mix. First of all, you need to make sure that you have the images that you want in your photos. Okay, so there's my photos there. And so to make sure that they're there, watch the other video that I've uploaded. Okay, so here we can see down the bottom corner, in the right hand corner, that's the logo there for Photoshop Mix. So Adobe Photoshop Mix is the full name. And you will find that you need to sign in when you use it. Now, if you're in grade 10 to 12, you'll be able to sign in using your Adobe ID that you've already been sent out because you've been signed up for free for the full Creative Cloud. If you are not in grade 10 to 12 in art, then you will just get a free Adobe account to be able to use all the apps for free. So you'll just click on that and follow the prompts there. Like normal, if you are getting an account for anything, you should talk to your parents about it first. But this one is entirely free and there are no in-app purchases. Okay, so I'm signing in with my account now. It should be your school email. And if you are in 10 to 12, you use a company or school account, okay? Okay, you type in your password, hit return. All right, and you come up with the list of projects there. Now you won't have all of those. These are ones that that students have been working on this iPad, but you can see the tutorials down the bottom. You will have those two in the bottom list there. On the side, on the left hand side, we have at the bottom we can swap between different views, how many tutorials we're seeing at a time, and at the top we can get in and manage our account, but we can also look for tutorials here. And there's a bunch of really great tutorials here, really easy to watch and see what you're doing, and you can look at those full screen, so you can scroll through and see different types of things you can do with this app, Adobe Mix. Okay, so what we're actually wanting to do though is create a new project, and we're going to start with an image that we've already downloaded to our camera roll. Okay, so let's choose one of these ones here. Alright, the first thing you'll notice is this is coming upside down. So if we use two fingers, our thumb and our finger, we'll be able to rotate the image around quite easily. Try and straighten it up. Okay, and scale it to the size we want. Right, so that's the first image, but at the moment it's pretty boring and we want to actually bring in some other images. So click on the plus over at the side here and on image, and we can bring in another image that we're going to play with. And I'm just going to bring in one of these backgrounds, okay, that we painted in class, and scale it up. Alright, now obviously I can't see the other picture underneath anymore. It's there, I know it's there because I can see it in the image layer, but I can't actually see it. So what we need to do is on that top image, we need to change our blending mode. So you can see here it's normal, but if we go darken, it only covers areas that are lighter than it. Multiply is similar, and you can see there's a whole heap of different effects here that we can go through and we can play with. Okay, when we're happy with it, we can tick, and we've made that adjustment. Now we can actually also move our layers up and down just by tapping, holding and then moving, but you can see now the effect isn't happening because that effect was on the green layer and it affects things below it, not above it. Okay, So if I wanted to change the effect here, I would need to put another effect onto this layer above. I'm going to take that one back down. Okay, let's try another image. Let's bring in this one with the black background. Okay, now I want to do something with this, but I want to line up that swan with the one that's on there. So if I go back into the blending mode and I go to my opacity, I can bring it down. Now I can see through, but I can't move it. So what I have to do is tick, and then I can go back here and move and scale it and get it to the size that I want it to be. And I think I'm going to go for slightly bigger. Okay, and I can tap onto other layers to see it. Now it's still only half there, so I need to go back into my blending mode and bring it all the way back up. Okay, that's cool, except that I can't see it, so let's go with multiply. And I think that looks kind of cool, except that I've got all this other stuff down the bottom edge. So what I need to look at is using cutout. So if I use cutout down the bottom here, and we can paint on the areas that we actually want to keep on the layer. So I can go around like that. And we can also paint on the areas that we want to get rid of. So say I accidentally went outside the edge. Like that. Then I can subtract. Now at the moment I'm on a smart selection tool, so what you'll notice is if I go down this edge, it's going to take that whole area out from where it goes black to white. So what I'm going to do is swap to basic, okay, and I can paint in areas like this, and I can also subtract, use like the eraser. And I can change to whether that has a sort of soft edge like it's got there, or I can go to a hard edge so that we don't get that faint edge on it. We have a hard black edge. Whoops. Okay, but of course, if we're actually going for a shape like this, it actually makes sense to actually just use a shape tool. Okay, now this at the moment is adding, so that's not actually changed anything. So subtracting, I can go down here, tap the shape to confirm, tap the shape to confirm. So you can see I can use it plus and minus. Alright, or I could go, alright, adding, let's draw a rectangle that is just a little bit bigger. Oh, I'm not quite happy with that, so I'm going to move it to there, tap the shape, and you can see I've got a black line all the way around its edge as well. Okay, so lots of different ways to cut out there, and now I've got my picture. Now I'm quite happy with that, except the outside edge of it, I want to make that white maybe a bit even. So up in the top corner here I have crop, and this will crop the entire image. Okay, when I'm happy again, tick. Now I'm really happy with that experiment. So I want to save it to my camera roll. Up the top, save it to camera roll, and then I can make some other adjustments straight away and go, oh, that's really cool, like that as well. Save it to camera roll, and just like that I've got two new artworks. Okay, so if I go into my photos, and you can see here there's that one, this one, my recordings, and some others. So it doesn't take very long to make all of those changes. Okay, so that's how I want you to experiment with Adobe Mix, this one here, okay, to come up with some new and interesting explorations of your linoprint.